Call of Duty series has always been famous for its intense multiplayer. The last game, Modern Warfare, reinvented the series by blasting it into the future and topping the charts as it did so. World at War brings us back to World War II. So is it a worthy sequel, or is it the new Hitler of the gaming world? Let's find out in the GruntSoldiers Call of Duty World at War beta, First Impressions. When Treyarch announced that World at War would be set in World War II, I was one of the first to complain. After Modern Warfare had done so well in the future, I didn't see why they had to take it back to the past. Call of Duty 3 was the last in the series to be set in World War II, and all I could think about is that online experience in comparison to COD 4's. Call of Duty 4 was one of the greatest first-person shooters I have ever played, and this video will say why World at War has the potential to be even better. To start off with, I'm going to talk about the multiplayer maps. In the beta there are 3 maps in total: Castle, Mackin and Roundhouse. The map you're seeing now is Castle. Castle's probably my favourite map. It seems to be quite large and it's really good in the capture the flag game mode. Castle's set in Japan, where the Imperial Army are based. And it's basically a castle. You have to fight your way up to the 2 different sections, and then that's each of the bases. If you go round the back, then you can get a good vantage point on your enemies. You can take them out really quickly. Castle's quite a bright map, which is something that's noticeably different to the experience in COD 4. COD 4 always seemed to be quite dark, whereas in this new World at War beta we've seen a brighter side to the world, and it seems a lot nicer. It's much more pretty, and I suppose it makes the experience a lot better. On this map I tended to use either a rifle or an assault rifle. If you were to try and use a sniper rifle you might struggle a bit, and although some people try and use them, they're not really that effective and they don't play much part in the game. The second map is Mackin, which is at night time, and it's like a load of little huts suspended in water, and you've got to travel from hut to hut and take out the enemies. There's also a beach which you can fight a lot across, which I'm on now, and that's quite cool, and it's quite large, and it's quite a nice map. In Call of Duty 4 you didn't usually see these kind of large maps. There was only a few, whereas in the beta all 3 of them seem to be quite big, and Mackin is definitely one of the bigger ones. It's quite fun. Roundhouse is the 3rd map. It's the only map in the beta to have vehicles, and it has 2 tanks. Now initially I thought the tanks were going to take a massive part in the game, but really they don't. If you go around the edges and you're careful, then they're not really there, and but if you run into the middle, then you can get either ran over or just shot straight away, so you've got to be careful. Now we're going to talk about the class creation system. Now you've got even more custom slots. They go up as you prestige, so there's actually a goal to prestige, and now you have more types of guns. You have your bolt action rifles, your submachine guns, your machine guns, and the shotguns. Now the bolt action rifles also act as snipers, and they can have various different attachments, like in COD 4. Everything's customizable, and for your SMGs you can have the aperture sight, which is basically a clone of the red dot sight. And one thing that they've done is they've got rid of the ACOG scope. There's nothing like the ACOG scope in this game. In the perks, now you've got your vehicle perks. You've got 4 perk slots, and one of them's vehicle. They don't really play much of a part, but they're there for you anyway. While I've been playing the beta, they have updated it, and now you can get to the rank of 24, and you can also play Team Deathmatch and Search and Destroy. They've also added Hardcore to the mix, which makes it a lot more fun. The 2 new game modes that have been added are Capture the Flag and War. Initially, Capture the Flag wasn't going to be included in the game, but Treyarch received so many requests that they were forced to include it. Overall, I found Capture the Flag to be probably the most entertaining of the new game modes. It was really fun, fast-paced, and it had included really good teamwork. At times it seemed a little bit easy to capture the flag, but it doesn't really matter, and most people just camp back and get a few kills first, and then they'll go for the flags. War wasn't really my kind of thing. It seemed to be the case where whoever got the first objective went on to win the game. I wasn't really playing with a proper team, so I can't really say about any tactics used, and it was really boring for me, so I just went and played some capture the flag. One thing you guys might want to know about is the return of S&D, or Search and Destroy. From what I've heard, it isn't really as good as the old one in Call of Duty 4, but I'm not really sure why. I think it's because people don't know the maps as well and don't know where to hide or camp or whatever, but to be honest, from what I played, I find it pretty good. One of the new features is the new squad system. If you join a squad, then you'll be able to see everyone in that squad with a bright blue name. No one in the beta really used them, but it could be good in team tactical or clan matches. Very much like in Call of Duty 5, you get different things as you get more kills. After you get 3 kills, you get a recon plane, which is basically a UAV. After you get 5, you get an artillery strike, which is basically an airstrike. And then after 7, you get dogs, which is absolutely nothing like a chopper. Believe it or not, dogs are actually really overpowered. I think Treyarch were thinking that everyone's going to think that dogs are going to be pathetic, so they went and overpowered them. If you get dogs, you usually get about 4 or 5 kills. The beta doesn't come without its problems. It has a glitch on the roundhouse level where you can get underground and shoot them from underneath. This glitch becomes really annoying, and if someone gets under there, they usually get dogs and a really high kill streak. I'd like to thank Vendetta and Scottish Duck 17 for helping me with this video. Thanks for watching!